course Samsung's awesome display. This is a great phone. But, you know, at this price, people are going to be cross-shopping. They might want to take a risk on a Pixel or on a OnePlus 9.
Really? Hey, what's up? Adam Lobo here from Adam Lobo TV. So when I was watching video reviews about the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE, almost all of them say that it's too expensive and you can get a better smartphone, especially within this price range. So in this video, I'll tell you whether or not it is true, and if I do recommend this phone to you, so keep watching. Now, since this review unit does not come with a box, so here is the specs of the phone here in Malaysia, and feel free to pause this video if you want to see the exact variant available and the price of the phone here in Malaysia as well. Next, let's talk about the build and the design. So since the phone has a plastic back, it is very light and it feels really good in the hands. At about 177 grams and definitely lighter than most mid-range smartphones that I've recently held. And I love how the side is an aluminum finish and also in matte, which is really nice to know when it comes to the overall grip of the phone. Now, speaking of a matte finish, the back is also in a matte colored finish, and the one which I have is in white, and it also comes in graphite, lavender and olive as well. Now, when it comes to the overall design, it is very identical to the S21 series of smartphones, but I personally really love the one-tone color finish as opposed to the two-tone that you will find in the flagship S21. Now, some may argue about the whole plastic back, but the fact that plastic is way more better when it comes to durability compared to phones like the Pixel 6, which although it looks all premium and all, but when it comes to durability, nah. Now, what's also interesting is the fact that the front is a Corning Gorilla Glass Victus protection, which is the toughest glass protection until today, and that is great to know since that is not a compromise that Samsung has done on the FE. And I also really did appreciate the fact that the phone also had an official IP68 dust and water resistant, and this would be something that Samsung would not even bother to have it in a smartphone, but it's nice that it's there. Next, looking at the ports and buttons, looking down below, other than the USB-C port, just next to it there's the SIM card slot that supports up to a dual SIM, and then there's one of the two stereo speakers over there, where the other speaker is at the earpiece area. Then on the right there's the volume rocker and the power button. Now, as for the phone screen, it comes with a 6.4-inch dynamic AMOLED 2x display. It has HDR10 and a high refresh rate of 120Hz. Then when it comes to the resolution, it has FHD Plus resolution of 1080 by 2400 pixels. Now, as usual, the screen was very nice and bright, just like how Samsung phones has usually always been. As for playback on Netflix, it has Widevine L1 support with Full HD and HDR10 playback as well, so that was sweet. And when it comes to playing back videos on YouTube, it was also really nice, bright and vibrant as well. Now, the screen is flat and not as curved like how the flagships are. And then there's also the in-display fingerprint sensor that uses an optical sensor instead of the ultrasonic ones that you'd find in the flagship once again, but it does unlock very quickly. And once again, since it has a high refresh rate of 120Hz, the overall refresh rate and the usability when it comes to daily really felt like I was using a flagship. Now, as for camera specs, the main lens is a 12-megapixel f1.8 main lens, a 12-megapixel f2.2 ultra-wide lens, and an 8-megapixel telephoto lens with 3x optical zoom and 30x digital zoom, or Samsung calls it the space zoom. Then when it comes to the front camera, it has a 32-megapixel f2.2 aperture lens. Now, in terms of the picture quality, once again, I would say that it is definitely flagship level. I know I've been saying that a lot for the ultra-wide lenses, the main lenses, and even the telephoto lenses during the day. And I even put a poll on Instagram stories for people to guess which smartphone took those pictures, and most of them guessed that it was from a flagship phone. And the front camera shots, as you guys can see, had a really good dynamic range, and edge detection was also flawless, whether or not it's during the regular selfie and the portrait mode. And of course, the pictures on the rear portrait mode was really good as well. Now, while I'm not a huge fan of using digital zoom shots, but if you really want, it is nice that the 30 times space zoom looked very decent, as you can see during these two shots. Then when it comes to the night mode shots, it looked great for all of the lenses, including the telephoto lenses as well. Then as for video recording, the rear can record up to 4K 60 frames per second, where the image stabilization for the 30 frames per second recording was really good for the ultra-wide and the main lenses. And of course, you can toggle the super steady mode, where it will record up to 1080p instead, but still very good quality, as you all can see. Then when it comes to the front camera, although you can record up to UHD up to 60 frames per second, but I did find that the image stabilization was better on FHD Plus up to 30 frames per second. And here is a video and audio recording test on the phone. Okay, so I found the best configuration for the front camera for using it for vlogging situation would be using it at 1080p. And of course, this would be a sound test to see how the audio recording is. I'm in an obvious outdoor area with lots of cars, and let's see how it sounds on the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE. Then there's also other additional software features, and out of all, I really love the dual video that features recording for the front and also the rear camera at the same time. And also another cool feature which I've always been using on the phone is of course the front portrait video as well. So if you're enjoying this video so far, a nice big thumbs up would be very much appreciated, and a subscription would be very nice too. So the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE ships with Android 12 with One UI version 4.0. And yes, I can officially say that the One UI version 4 is my favorite Android skin, because in my personal and humble opinion, I feel that it is even better than the Oxygen OS, which has become buggy as of late. Now, in case you did not know what's new on the One UI version 4, here's a quick look on what I really love about it. Now first, there is the color palette, where you can easily change the color according to your choice of your colors available on your wallpaper. And yes, this is nice compared to typically needing to download a whole icon pack or theme to just do some simple color changing palettes. Now, I also really appreciated the newly refreshed widget lists, where if you click on them, you'll also be able to see a preview on how the widgets will look like, and also the number of the widgets available for it. Then there's also a brand new device care menu, where not only you'll see the battery performance and a nice indicator to show if your battery is running well, but also there's other useful information like storage and memory at a glance. Then there's also a nice protection feature for the battery that limits maximum charging up to 85%. Then now there's some privacy updates, like showing you a green indicator when the app you're using has the camera or the microphone turned on. Then if you haven't tried Bixby routines, you are in a treat, or you're really missing out. Because there are features like if this and then features which you can do, which will come in handy for many situations. Now yes, there are even more features on the One UI version 4, but these are my favorite so far. So the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE has 4500 milliamps of battery. Now when I was using the phone, I did notice that the overall battery drain was really good, because when I was at 100%, I still could get up to 2 hours and 6 minutes of screen on time, and it only went down to 69% battery. 69? With about 1.5 hours of gaming on Genshin Impact and about 23 minutes of PUBG Mobile, which was really impressive indeed. And all in all, after using the phone for a very long time, after watching about 51 minutes of YouTube and just browsing, I got close to a massive 7 hours and 32 minutes of screen on time when I was at 10% battery. And yes, this is with dark mode turned on and motion smoothness at high. So yes, the battery life on the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE is really good indeed. And it also supports up to 25 watts wired fast charging with the 25 watt charger, of course, where it got me from 0 to about 45% in about 30 minutes or so. But of course, keep in mind that the charger does not come inside of the box. However, what's more interesting is that although that the phone has a plastic back, it still does support wireless charging up to 15 watts, and there's also reverse wireless charging on the phone as well. So what's your excuse, plastic back smartphones? So as usual, I started off gaming testing on Genshin Impact, where with medium settings, 60 frames per second and motion blur turned off, the game ran smoothly without any micro lag or stutter. There was also no huge battery drain or any overheating issues. With about 20 minutes of gameplay, I still did not feel that it was warm during a very long gameplay beyond 20 minutes. And it was also very comfortable in the hands when it comes to gaming for a really long time. Then as for PUBG Mobile, the graphics were at HDR and also frame rate was set to Ultra. And here's where I found it weird that the graphics on PUBG Mobile does not go up to UHD, so hopefully there is a software update that will fix that. Now, like Genshin Impact, gameplay was also really smooth and there were no overheating issues when playing games up to half an hour. And once again, playing PUBG Mobile for a really long time with the phone also felt good and comfortable in the hands. So in conclusion, similar to the S20 FE which I reviewed before, I will give this S21 FE my biggest recommendation simply because of what exactly the phone offers as of now, where it checks all the right boxes to make this smartphone a very compelling option. Now the battery life is amazing, screen and the cameras are very close to a flagship level, and I did not have any issues at all when I was using the phone daily. Now, if you're interested in seeing my review of the S21 flagship or even the S21 Ultra, you can see it over here. My name is Adam Lobo and I'll see you in my next video.